await confirmation.
We is live on YouTube.
Yep, we're good. We Gucci. I'd throw it to me like you would any show, Jacob. I've done a couple of NASCAR races, so I understand this.
Cool. It's kind of what I figured. You're willing to hop in, that you know enough.
Yeah. Who are you supposed to be with today?
Caleb.
Oh, ridiculous, right? Fire him. It's first grade. Can't even do the job.
Yeah, well, you know. Things happen.
They do. They do.
All right, I get him back next week because I'm not here next week. So.
I am also not here next week.
Okay. Well.
Continuity of broadcast, nil.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Season 4 of the Creator Series. You're seeing us on a whole bunch of different platforms, including the main iRacing, Twitch, YouTube pages, all that fun stuff. Jacob Pitts, Jake Sperry here with you. It's the Jake and Jake show, essentially, as we get set to go to start off a brand new season here on iRacing. We're bringing the next-gen cars out, and essentially the pitch was, hey, we need somebody that needs to know something about NASCAR. Well, here we are. Better late than never. As we get set to go for Season 4. It's quite a wild schedule here, Jake, as we go throughout the season. We're getting it all started tonight at Charlotte.
I'd just like to point out, I don't quite know what I'm doing here. They said they wanted people who knew NASCAR, and that is not me, as far as this one all sets out. But this is going to be really fun in terms of how today is going to set. Charlotte is home for so many when it comes to NASCAR. It might not be as flashy as Daytona or Talladega. It might not be a season finale place like Homestead Miami has been. But what it does bring to the table is that collective sense of this is the perfect week for Charlotte because we got World 600 that is on the run forward with it. And the creators want to say, well, best place to start, best place to go forward for it. 133 laps. This is going to go one of two ways, quickly or painstakingly slow.
And this schedule is loosely based around the schedule that the NASCAR Cup Series is going to be following throughout the next little while. If we could take a look at our schedule, obviously we are in Charlotte tonight. There are some special events along the way as we go throughout the calendar year. Nashville Super Speedway coming up in a week. Taking a trip to USA International. Nürburgring makes its way onto the schedule. We get to climb Mount Washington at some point a little later on this year. Brands Hatch is on the schedule. We get to hop across the pond to your territory, and then we have our usual suspects, tracks like North Wilkesboro, Indianapolis on the oval, wrapping things up at the end of the year come mid-August when we get to New Hampshire.
And I think you get a real sense of there's every different type of race that's going to be out there and challenged out there. You get the likes of the Brickyard. That doesn't drive like anything else out there. We've got some dirt running at USA. We've got the likes of a few Roval or a few circuits out there on the road to go and challenge like Watkins, like Sonoma. It's a case of there is a little bit of something for everyone, and every different skill that is needed in oval style running, I think, is going to really challenge these drivers. And so I think it's not just a case of one set is going to sort everything out. I think you need to be the best all-rounder out there. It's no good, so to speak, Jacob, being out there and being a Shane Van Gisbergen when you can't get it done on the ovals, but at the same point, you don't want to be mired there in the back, just unable to get anything going when it comes to the likes of some of the circuits like Watkins and Sonoma.
And we may see a Shane Van Gisbergen-esque run as we work our way through the schedule. Obviously, all of these creators that we have throughout the series, not all of them necessarily cut their teeth on the ovals in these cars. We've got some that have essentially their rookie license on oval. They're going to be starting at the head of the pack tonight, so it will certainly be quite something for us to watch as we go through these next couple of weeks, but maybe they'll figure it out and learn some things from the start of the season to the end, but you'd have to imagine there are going to be some that are going to be highlighting some races on the calendar that, yeah, this is our best shot to win, like a Watkins Glen, like a Sonoma, even when we go to Road America, that last special event.
Yeah, those who want to try and make something of this are going to have to learn to like it, I think. And there are certain creators who look at it and go, I don't want to learn to like it. I'll sit out and come back for Season 5. But I think as we are going to be setting ourselves up here, Jacob, I think the big key is going to be this is basically the first time everyone gets to race against each other in an oval setting. This is a chance for everyone to say, this is how I drive, this is how I do things, this is what I've got to learn, this is what I already know. So I think the big key is going to be, how do they play in the sandpit with each other for the very first time?
We'll turn things over to talk with some of the drivers that we'll be seeing on the racetrack as we go throughout this evening, and that includes B-Roy, who right now sits atop the practice charts here from Charlotte, and got the shades on, ready to rock and roll as we get set for this 200-mile race tonight. How's the race car? How you feeling?
Feels pretty good. Honestly, very happy that we're going to be doing next gens this year. Kind of a strong suit for me. Car feels really good. It's going to be a little tight in the back of the pack because I have a feeling that we're going to be starting back there. So it's just going to be kind of biding our time, saving our tires, and, taking things one step at a time. We've got a lot of good competitors, some new, some experienced in the iRacing scene. And, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get after it. It's going to be a great season.
Let's just talk about your preparation and understanding going into this, because as we all know, in the world of sim racing and the world of racing, it's Charlotte week. There's World 600 that's coming up on the horizon. So for you, in terms of getting yourself set up, getting yourself ready, getting yourself practiced, could this be, for you, as far as this calendar has gone here in Creator Series, the perfect jumping point for you?
Oh, absolutely. I think no matter what chance you get to practice at Charlotte, whether you're solo running, whether you're running in a pack, whether you're doing officials, or if you're here in the Creator Series, I think whatever practice that you get, regardless, that can help you in the World 600, I think it'll 1,000% help and benefit you in the long run. Just learning different things as you go, whether it's in the back of the pack, learning how to save your tires in dirty air, because this car is very, very, what's the word, tight this year in the back of the pack. So just learning about that, or just saving your tires and not trying to overrun yourself in the front. I've done that several times and lost a lot of races over the years just from pushing too hard when I didn't need to. So in terms of tonight, yes, absolutely, this is going to be great going forward. But it's also going to be fun learning how to drive against everybody else in here. Like I said, a lot of these guys, they might not have done oval, or it's their first experience inside of oval. So it's going to be fun to see them learn. It's going to be fun to watch them get through. But importantly, it's going to be great to be the Intimidator this year and see what I can pressure them into.
Is that part of what runs through your mind as we get set to run this race, that, okay, you said you're probably going to be starting in the back of the pack, and you're going to be racing around some folks that maybe aren't as attuned to this car or this racetrack? We may see the safety car, the unsafety car, come out of the racetrack a couple times early in this thing. How do you keep the race car clean?
It's just, like I said before, just not overrunning your stuff. It's kind of learning what battles you can take with different people, seeing who you're around and seeing what kind of battles you can take, what you can take, how hard you can race someone, especially early doors. I'm not exactly sure how many laps we're going to be running tonight. Everybody's going to be figuring out the setup. Everybody's going to be learning how to race against each other. And as long as you can take it easy and be ready and be there at the end to capitalize on everything, that's all that matters. Save your stuff early, run your race, don't worry about everybody else, and just go for it at the end. That's all that matters.
Well, I'm going to inform you, 133 laps or an hour and 45, whichever comes first. And I think we're all praying for 133 laps out there in terms of how they go. So as far as it sets yourself up now, how are you looking to plan your overtakes here when it comes to Charlotte Motor Speedway? Because I think this is a circuit where maybe it can be a little bit tougher to come by, that you need it to spread out a little bit to go and give yourself that room to make it happen. Is that how you're seeing it then, heading from the back of the field moving forward? Or do you think that you've got a good game plan in mind for it?
I think I've got a good game plan. I think there's two schools of thought when you're making a pass. It's whether you get a run or whether you're waiting for a mistake. And there's plenty of, I don't want to spoil too much about it because I don't know which drivers are listening or whatnot, but there's definitely opportunities on different lines that you can use to pass. But the big thing is going to be finding clean air anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of the pack, in the back of the pack, or at the front. Clean air is king with these cars. So if you can't find any clean air, you better be saving your tires, because if not, I'm coming.
All right, B-Roy, a lot to look forward to tonight. We'll see you out on the racetrack. Best of luck, and maybe we'll be chatting with you at the end of this deal.
Absolutely, guys. Enjoy the show.
B-Roy likely going to be starting toward the back of the grid this evening. We'll chat with another driver right now, Encephalosis, getting set to go here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. And I'll start out the same way I did with B-Roy. How's the car? How you feeling? Are you ready to go?
The car is great. I'm feeling good. Ready? Yes. Sure, ready. What to expect? I have no idea.
Well, you've got a lot to expect, or we've got a lot to expect from you, Mr. Reigning Champion out there. So as far as now going in with the moniker on your back, the target of I'm a reigning champion, I've got to go out there, I've got to be a yardstick, I've got to be an example. How are you looking to try and hold this into play? How are you looking to try and get yourself set and ready for the start of this season, knowing everyone's coming for your number?
I guess I'll keep kind of the same mentality I had going through most of last season. I'm just gonna hold on for dear life. I mean, I know we've got some really, really strong oval racers out there. I do love the oval. iRacing is what got me to try oval for the first time. And the first time I did NASCAR trucks on Talladega, I fell in love with it. So I'll try my best, but I am still relatively new. I often say on my stream that I'm a bit of a super speedway prodigy because I was born in Draft Masters and raised by Draft Masters. And outside of that, I'm just trying my best. We did do a Las Vegas race in season 1 of the iRacing Creator Series. I think I did okay, but yeah, I really don't know what to expect today other than fun and chaos. I'm sure it'll be a good time. That much I'm sure of.
Obviously, it is a relatively long race, 200 miles, around 133 laps. You have a smaller fuel cell on these cars. You're going to need to come down into pit road probably twice, maybe more. You could end up staring in the face of green flag pit stops. Are you prepared mentally for if we do get a long green flag run? Oh, shoot, I'm going to have to figure out how to get down to pit road to slow it down in time.
Yes, I did practice it a few times, thankfully. Again, like I said, I'm relatively new, so I did have to watch like a little bit of a track guide just to kind of see. But they told me to start braking as early as when you see the kind of the final Charlotte with the American flag. So I have an idea how to do it, but at the same time, with other cars around moving and going around me, maybe pitting before me, that I have no experience with, at least on this track, or at least recent experience, minimal experience. So honestly, I'm hoping I can knock some of the pits out under caution, because I feel like, again, that'll be chaos out there, but hopefully my little bit of practice will be good. I'm confident in my ability to get in there, but again, the other cars and making my intentions known without getting kind of bump drafted past the pit box or something, that much I am a little bit of afraid for.
And as far as it goes, 24 degrees of banking often makes this one very close, very congested, very high speeds. Are you worried about this one getting pretty much a case of a knife fight in a phone booth early on?
Yeah, honestly, I'm ready and excited for that. Again, I would kind of threw myself into the fire starting with trucks on Talladega, and that was what kind of blew my mind. You know, I knew we'd be going fast and turning left. I did not realize we would be doing that in the proximity we were doing that, bumping up and 2 cars and sometimes 3 cars wide. So I'm ready. If we got to go bumper to bumper 2 wide for a few laps, I'm actually excited for that, because I feel like I'll be able to just kind of fit in with the flow of things. But if we're still tightly packed again around the pit time, I'll be absolutely terrified, because I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
All right, Encephalosis, best of luck tonight, and maybe you'll be another guy that we're talking to at the end of this evening. Go get him.
Hey, thank you very much, guys. Pleasure talking to you.
There'll be another one out onto the racetrack. We do have one more driver to talk to before we get things rocking and rolling from Charlotte Motor Speedway. That is Ryan L83, who joins the program, and we'll do the same way we did for the last 2. How's the race car? How you feeling as we get set to go here from Charlotte?
Hello, gents. Yeah, all good. New experience for me. Not really to drive the NASCAR as much, so... And it is late in the UK, so it's going to be a big challenge, but looking forward to the season.
Would you say that survival is the main goal of the game, Ryan, like your beloved Nottingham Forest?
Absolutely. But I've got a bigger challenge this season, is to be ahead of Josh and Reska, who I also believe are UK drivers this evening, or in the championship, so be #1 European drivers, the main goal this season.
Are you perhaps one of those drivers that, okay, you can get by with the ovals, but you're really licking your chops for when we get to some of those road courses later on the line this season?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of oval racing, I only do, or I've done IndyCar, not really done any, like, NASCAR series on iRacing, but the roadside I do feel more comfortable, as I am mainly a prototype driver on the iRacing side, so Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think the NASCAR, like the oval side of things, is going to be a little bit of a learn as I go along in the season, but the road side I should feel a bit confident, hopefully.
And what are you looking at here in terms of this one very quickly? Are you looking at this wanting it to go green for a long time? Or are you hoping for a race that's going to be very choppy and very tough to establish rhythm?
Well, I believe I'm going to be somewhere at the back of the field, so I think for the early stages, it's just going to be just keeping it cool, not make any moves. Hopefully see the big one, which I know is a big thing in NASCAR. Hopefully no green flag pit stops, because I absolutely hate pit entry on green flag, so hopefully safety cars will come out and help me out there. But as I said earlier, the main aim is to finish, have a laugh, and not bottle it, as I always do in Credit Series.
We'll see if the big one happens to come out tonight. Here from Charlotte, Ryan, best of luck, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of this deal.
Thank you very much, chaps.
Ryan L83, as he said, he thinks he's going to be starting a little further toward the back of the pack. There is no qualifying for this series. It's all set by their iRating on the oval side of things. And for some, that means that they're going to be starting in the back. And that means some others that are a little less equipped in these race cars are going to be starting at the front. And we rock and roll with our starting grid on pole, Grand Pooh Bear lining up to the outside, multi-grid mashup. You've got Ryan L83, who we just talked to. Looks like he's going to be starting in that third spot. So starting toward the front, it's Des TV starting in fourth. Josh's Corner and Ukando starting in row number 3. That's fifth and sixth. Bunky T-Bone, Punju rounding out row number 4. And it's Solstice and Encephalosis, who we just talked to, rounding out our top 10, Jake.
Yep, this is where El Zindriani will line up in 11th with the Itasha on the side and the front there from, I believe, SpyX family by the looks of things. Hula will be there in 12th position in the number 22. Storm Molina, who has got a lot of pro running in her back pocket in 13th with the motorsports enthusiast. Then in 24th, Ohio State fans, you can have a smile about that now. You then have Lithium Fox representing the VTubers in 15th, as Greedy Me will be going from the outside of row 8. Row 9 will see Sia Races in that 17th with B-Roy, who we had a chance to talk to earlier on row number 9. Your 20 rounded out by a former college driver in Auburn, Kyle, and Steel Horse Live.
Steel Horse probably going to be one of the favorites in these cars tonight. Reska Kioso lining up in 21st, going to the outside in that 87. The Canadian will start 22nd. Then you have Justin Bowe 20 and Adam Nunez side by side there in 23rd and 24th. NASCAR Nolan with D. Gooden 24, 25th, and 26th. MGAGs Racing and, well, that's the only one showing up here. I do have Yellow Vision as well, but looks like Yellow Vision is going to be starting on the racetrack, but a 2028 car start, I think, for us here from Charlotte. It's interesting that we have two cars lined up on the inside at this point, but Zach Mertes is the one that we're missing, but I do not see him on the racetrack right now. So we do have unsafety cars, as I alluded to a little bit earlier. Essentially, the pace car that you see at the front of the field, you're not going to see it the rest of the night outside of being parked at the end of pit road. We will not use in-sim yellows. We will be throwing our own, and those unsafety cars will call a caution flag, similar to what you would see on the road courses, and then they will come out onto the high banks, slow the field down. Everybody gets behind them. We do pit stops, all that fun stuff. Then those cars will head to pit lane as we go on board with MGAGs Racing, another one with the shades on, ready to go. You're from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Ski goggles?
It might be ski goggles. The first thing I thought of was shades, but you might be right. That well, we're definitely not going skiing in a tank top. That much I can tell you. It is bright, obviously, at the racetrack, starting in daylight. It is just after 6 o'clock Eastern in sim, set for Sunday, and time is not sped up at all or anything, so we will end likely somewhere between 7:30 and 8 Eastern in sim, which means we're going to be looking at a little bit of a transition on the racetrack, going from this sunset sort of feel to around dusk, not quite complete darkness around the racetrack.
Yes, so that's going to mean that they are going to have to deal with lowering light later on here in this race. But one thing that they will be noting for here as they look to try and get themselves ready behind the pace car and look to get themselves ready on for action, I think they'll be looking at this, trying to establish some rhythm, but with the way that this works in Creator Series, the slower cars at the front, the quicker cars at the back, Jacob, my worry is going to be what happens when you get to the middle and you get this crunch of drivers who want to pass and drivers who are being passed. I think it's got this very, very sketchy position right now as we get ourselves set over towards the start, that this could be one where it's going to get busy at about 5 or 6 rows back. I hope it's going to stay clean and we're going to get some good running to start, and we might be able to see quite a bit of strategy take its hold with the speed runner at the front of the field, Grand Poobah.
We'll see how things roll out throughout the evening, that is for sure. You can do 2 wide here, you can do 3 wide, but it is questionable. Anything more than that, you're likely asking for trouble as we go throughout this evening here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Pace car will head to the safety of pit lane. You can turn in the keys. We'll not need them the rest of the night. Grand Poobah leads us now to the green flag. We're racing in the Creator Series Season 4. And we have already crashed. There's a car up against the wall on the front straightaway. Adam Nunez is facing the wrong way as the field works its way through 1 and 2. Everybody else is up to speed as they hit the backstretch for the first time.
He did it all on his own. He just lit up the rear tires trying to put the foot down hard to the floor, and that has created the drama then off at the start of this race that we were worried that we were going to see. But critically out at 4, the drive is going to be important as currently Ryan L83 sets up stall at the front, 3 wide for second, in the wall up high, it's dead.
Yeah, that got sketchy coming through the kink, but they made it work. It was multi-grid mashup there that got sort of stuck in the middle, 3 wide. Not necessarily where you want to be as you're working your way down the front straightaway, as you ride on board with him heading down into the corner. We'll take that outside line side by side just ahead of him with Grand Poobah, the pole sitter, and Ukando. We've made it clean now, 2 laps with Ryan L83 out in front of the pack.
2 laps, that's a new record, and they'll be very happy about it with the way that they are trying to set themselves into play. Now you're going to watch that very important blue apron line be the key. You don't want to dip any tires underneath it. You're prone to spinning if you do. Single file, it has now worked itself through the top 6. Still busy about out there with the likes of Ancephalosys and the motorsports enthusiast who is there in play. Funky T-Bone is there in play down low as well. And this is what we call rush hour right now in North Carolina.
It is a gaggle, like you're out on 77 or 85 as they work their way off of the corner. It's not quite complete bumper-to-bumper traffic jam, but it is darn near close as Ancephalosys and Funky T-Bone right now, sort of the cork in the bottle, side by side in front of these guys. There is nowhere else for these guys behind him to go. The track's just not wide enough to get around him, and they're forced to be patient. Once one is able to get by, that should hopefully release some of the backlog here as these faster cars try and work their way to the front, almost contact into one.
Oh, we take a look then from B-Roy's perspective as he is trying to absolutely...
Whoa, there we go!
One in the side. Big contact there as he goes through. Massive hit with Steelhorse live caught out. It was Ancephalosys on the 3 wide that goes on through. We stay green for the moment, but that was a huge accident then that set themselves into play, and ultimately it was a case of pinching too high. The motorsports enthusiast was up on the top side and there wasn't much room to go.
B-Roy, Ancephalosys, and Steelhorse Live involved in a 3-car crash. We do stay green. Looks like B-Roy just kind of gets hooked there off the corner. Ancephalosys coming down. May have bounced off of the car to the outside that just missed this crash. That was the motorsports enthusiast in the 24 that is able to get away. Everybody is still rolling. We're still under green, 6 laps now complete, and we did have a little bit of a battle for the lead at that point with Ryan L83 and It's Des TV. At this point, Ryan staying out in front of the pack for now. They work their way down the back straightaway. Now, you look at Encephalosis involved in that crash, 19 seconds behind the lead pack, where really he was only about 3 or 4 seconds behind before the crash.
Yeah, and they've got to be alert to this because you can lose the time as we go on board with Des here in second position and the focus that is there, because if you do find yourself down, you get caught up in a spin, Jacob, you can lose that time out there and say, right, that's where the troubles can certainly set themselves into play. You note, though, that Creator Series is all about the content, and so if you do get a safety car period, you think normally you only get one lucky dog. It is an infinite lucky dog here. Everyone gets back to the lead lap if they're caught out in a big one.
Steelhorse is going to be one of those drivers that takes advantage of that. He has brought the 69 machine onto pit road for service. He is down and away 4 tires for that 69. You do have a nice little battle here side by side. That is for the 3rd spot with Okando and Grand Pooh Bear. You look a little further back. The Motorsports Enthusiast again has some traffic behind him. Justin Bow 20, Punju, and you look a little further back. Multi-Grid Mashup is in a battle for the time being. 3D Me also in that mix is Lithium Fox, it looks like, in that 47, hanging tough on the outside.
Tag, and just around Lithium Fox, multi-grid mashup, massive smash in for Greedy Me as they get demoted down the field on the smash up down to the bottom. The two of them having a big old run out there. Safety car is going to be deployed out there, so that will put us into an unsafety car period. That is a big old hit there between the 3, and ultimately that one dashes itself down over towards the bottom. That is not a nice instant. That is what happens when energy disperses. It creates nasty strong wrecks here.
Greedy Me, that car is destroyed. We did have another spin on the front straightaway. Not everybody figured out that the caution was out, and Dales Jr. in the 09 tried to split the middle 4 wide with traffic and got turned. Here it is off of the corner. No idea that the caution is out, and she comes right through the middle and gets turned. Spins it through the grass. That was already after the caution flag came out.
Yeah, and that's because we're not throwing iRacing mandatory cautions. They will have to get their radios on and listening to what race control has to say. And so as far as that is said, it now does slow the field back down, and they will be driving around with the unsafety car, which it's actually quite nice for today because we like this old school feel, and we say that NASCAR has got its roots out there in terms of what we see in Americana. So why don't we get an Audi prototype into play that won at Le Mans?
Or as we called it before we got on the air, tractor. Got it out there,
yes,
ready to go. So the unsafety car is rolling here on the front straightaway. Ryan L83 is the race leader. That is behind the pace car. We have had 1 or 2 come onto pit road. Lithium Fox has made a pit stop here under this caution. Multi-Grid Mashup was just on the pit lane after the crash. Yellow Vision is going to bring a couple more down here as the pits are open for everybody. It looks like the back half of the field is going to be pitting. D. Gooden and company all coming down onto pit road as we're under our first safety car of the event. 13, make it 12 laps complete. Still a long way to go.
A very long way to go, and the drivers who get themselves caught up in incidents, they have 4 fast repairs available to them today, which means effectively they've brought 5 cars in the trailer. You get through 5 cars, Jacob, and you still break all of them. That's it. You can write your day off after that, but hopefully that will give a chance for everyone to still go out there and make it work in the Fizzy Pop 200. Zach Mertes then just taking leave then as we take a replay off of pits. And is this going to be trouble just trying to get the power up to speed there going through? And ultimately that's going to be just trying to get some drive and back into position then as far as this one goes. But a bit of that 3 wide, and this is where you had some of the troubles earlier on, which caused all of the drama. Encephalosis stuck in a sandwich there, Jacob, to really worry about how to sort of get through. And I think you're going to find it off the corners, off of 2, off of 4. you really get that big drop from the 24 degrees worth of banking, and so that's going to create a lot of overspeed on the outside that's going to cause a lot of the troubles.
This is what put us under that safety car, the contact coming off of turn number 2, hard to the inside wall with Greedy Me and the motorsports enthusiasts. Everybody able to continue as we get another angle. That contact just washing up, and these cars on the inside, they can get out of control like that. They'll start to come around on you, get a little loose, get a little bit of that oversteer, so you start to turn it back to the right. And then you're walking it up the racetrack and run into the scenario where you could bounce off the car to the outside. Once we hit 1 to green here, they will be set to line up odd position cars to the inside, even number cars to the outside, and I believe we're going to do that right here as we are coming to 1 to green. We'll get things back under the green flag with 15 laps complete here in the Fizzy Pop 200 from Charlotte. Still a long way to go, and certainly an entertaining first handful of laps. Quick slowdown. We do have your top 13 cars stayed out, and then everybody else behind. Lithium Fox on back came onto pit road to get some tires, others fixing some damage. Looks like Steel Horse Lime is coming back in for another set of tires, maybe to fix any damage that he would have had left from that initial incident. So safety car will come to the safety of pit lane. It's Des TV and Ryan L83 on the front row. Ryan to the outside, Des to the inside. As Ryan comes over the radio and says, look, I don't know what I'm doing on these restarts, so bear with me as we're setting a new track record here. We're trying to, we're not going to take the chicane. We're going to go around, bring it around town. Meanwhile, the field is off of 4 and back toward the restart zone to get us back under the green flag. A lot of spacing here at the front of the field. 15 laps complete. We're back to green. Oh, trouble. One car around in the background. It's the 06. That's Storm Molina. We stay green. It's a single car spin. Everybody gets rolling. And again, it looks like that was just, no. She may have gotten some help. Kind of tapping the rear end there from Reska Kioso. Otherwise, we are green at the front of the field.
Reska was immediate to apologise over the radio to say sorry about that contact, and very much the case there with the unsafety car off the restart. I think he wants to take the chicane or even get up over the curves, but missed the braking zone for it. So I believe in baseball terms, Jacob, that's what we would call a balk.
Yeah, I think so. It doesn't get called a whole lot anymore, so I'm not entirely sure, but I think so. You ride on board. Second place car, Justin Bowe, 20 to the inside as they work their way into 3. He'll take second. He's looking for the lead on Ryan L. He'll look to the outside. They work their way back to the stripe. It's Des TV in 3rd, Okando in 4th, and Grand Poubert, your pole sitter, rounding out the top 5 as here comes Justin Bowe around the outside, looking for the lead. If he can get alongside, not quite. Now he cuts to the bottom.
Well, 18 laps in and looking to have gained 22 spots. Ryan L83 is a former driver of the Radicals Online sim racing team, which raced in the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. So he's got that cadence of experience there under the tutelage of someone who did very well at IndyCar-style ovals, that being Rob Cuss, but loses out to Justin Bowe 20, who gets the position now at the front, can now start to lead some laps here out, and it's 4 clear. Everyone behind Grand Poubert is still a little bit shuffled out, and Ryan just understanding, look, I know what this race is going to be. It's going to be tough early on for me. I'm not going to be too disappointed with where I sit myself at the moment, and I will understand too that Des is now trying to eye up a way to try and get some moves done as it gets busy here in the mid-pack with Goen, El Zindriani, and D. Gooden.
And if we do happen to settle in for a green flag run, it's important to save those tires now for the end of the run so you aren't just crawling around the racetrack. It's a nice battle here. Auburn Kyle in the mix, Josh's corner, MCAG's Racing and Company, 6th, 7th, and 8th. That yellow vision back there, that bright yellow car, he's 10th. 20 laps complete here at the stripe.
And look at this around Grand Prix. Oh, up in the
trouble,
wall, up in the
trouble.
wall, around L83 and Des. Both
Oh,
of them
no.
backwards, and now they're going to turn back down the circuit, and this will have to be a safety car out there. It's a huge pile-up.
This is as close to a big one as we would like to see. Multiple cars crashed. Zach Mertez turned back up the racetrack. Funky T-Bone comes to a dead stop. Did not quite miss it, and it was the battle for second. Ryan L83, who we were talking about, had such a good run going, just came up the racetrack, squeezed its Des out of room, and into the wall they went. And unfortunately, it's Des 83, or it's Des couldn't keep it up there against the outside wall, coming back down to the racetrack, got hit from behind by Auburn Kyle. And you bring a slower car like that into the middle of the racetrack, you are asking for trouble.
I turn left. Good luck, everybody, I guess was the end result of that one after the contact up in the wall. So it's just the case of running to the outside, not expecting the run, I think, was Ryan, and there was overlap. And I turn left. Good luck, everyone. And then it creates a smoke screen through the middle. I'm sure everyone will look at that and go, look, if you're going to have an incident like that, just try and hold it up on the high side wall, get out of the corner, then wait for the pack to go through to drop that down in. Take a look from the onboard perspective right now on just how quickly you can run into trouble here at Charlotte. You can see he picks up a really nice run, gets it well through the tri-oval, and now says, look, can I get there? No is the answer.
I almost wonder maybe got a little scared of the outside wall and turned down a little bit. Just as Ryan really started to set to turn into the corner, kind of turns right and then turns back to the left, and unfortunately they kind of meet in the middle. And that sparks the contact to bring out our second safety car or unsafety car of the evening. Justin Bowe is your race leader. We did have more cars come onto pit road under this most recent slowdown. Justin Bowe 20 is still your race leader. Ukando is second. Grant Kuber is third. Josh's Corner is fourth. And Sear Races, she is fifth.
What I look at here at this moment in time, Jacob, and I think this is going to be quite telling as far as this race goes, I don't think being at the front of this field is going to win you this one. Not right now. I think this is setting itself up for the kind of race where if you're right now somewhere in the low to mid-teens in this race, I think you're doing exactly the right thing. You're trying to stay quiet. You're trying to keep yourself away from any real understanding at the front, because there's too many cars, I think, for everyone to go and understand what everyone's doing. If you're going to do something sneaky, you can't do it from the front of the field. Everyone will notice you. I think this race sets itself up that someone is going to set themselves up from the mid-pack to either get a big run or they'll do something very unexpected on strategy.
On the board here with Adam Nunez trying to get caught back up with the rest of the field. As we don't have anybody at this point a lap down to get back onto the lead lap. Everybody has caught back up.
See there as well. Oh, look at that. Immediately to the can to get a little bit of sustenance before going back again. Must be very tough, Jacob, to go and get yourself refreshed. And actually what people don't understand is how intensive an oval sim race is.
Especially, you know, you run a lot of laps. The NASCAR Coca-Cola Championship iRacing Series last night, they ran 160 laps. They ran that wire to wire green. Did not have a caution. We've already had 2 slowdowns so far. We're running a little less than what they ran yesterday. But it can be a long race. Yesterday's race took about 2 hours to button up once everything was said and done.
With that in mind as well, if you know you're going to be in this one for a long haul, I think you are going to have to be very switched on to how this is going to be, and that you can't switch off for a moment here on these ovals. A look in at Josh's Corner in 4th position. Started 5th, so a gain of 1 so far, but I would be keeping focus as we'll get the word that it is 1 to green at this point in time. I think you got to be looking at the front, try and get as many laps as you can, where you're just focusing on, okay, it's a car here, it's a car there. It's not this massive onslaught that's going to be there behind, but every restart puts a cycle into the tyres, and they just get a little bit more worse than what they necessarily have been over the course of the run. As we get Scotty Designs here in unsafety car number 2 out there. He's looking like he is going to be our Braveheart for this one, because I think he's going to get this as unsafe for the power of Scotland.
My understanding that he's going to crash the car. We'll see what happens.
It wouldn't be Scotty if he
going to
didn't.
aim for the barrels at the end of pit road. What are we going to do here? Survey says, all right. Sticks the landing. All right.
Perfect against the cone.
Justin Bowe and Ukando on the front row. Top 5 cars plus Dales Jr. all did not pit. So we have some on older tires, some on fresher tires, then some on the freshest tires, as we are back to green on lap 27 of 133.
Lovely set here as they've worked through lithium boxes, trying to be the hot knife here in 5th position. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving back there in the mid-pack. Greedy Me trying to give Punju a little bit of a something of what 4L's Indriani stuck on the outside, then having a little look at it off of 4 and back down again. And you can be really aggressive out there trying to set yourself up. You're hitting speeds of 180 miles an hour. Look, 190 as you pivot into 1 and 2, and you could be up 2 wide, you can even be 3 wide up there at the moment. Yellow Vision is there. M-Gags is looking around with it. Solstice pushing, and we're almost at 4. My.
Yeah, can't go 4 around the racetrack. You can do 3. I wouldn't try 4. It looks like they're going to try it. They're going to crash. Around and into the wall goes Solstice. We stay green for now. They wad him up. And we are going to call a safety car for that off the corner.
We are. That is a safety car, and it has been called by Scotty Design. So Greedy Me around, and Solstice there, just basically getting tipped in through 3 and 4. Had to run around and gets caught basically in no man's land is Greedy Me, and that's the key that you've got in. You've got to be so clever with how you try and work through. They look to attempt to go 4. Yellow Vision was good on the bottom, riding the middle and nowhere to go. This is Solstice's view of it. Basically just got left with nowhere to go with the tag on the outside, and the dog print there is just going to say, well, you're going to end up having a couple mucky paws after that one.
Yeah, nothing you can do there when you get run over from behind like that.
I mean, this will tell you the view here, Jacob. Look, you're just going to try and push in. Greedy Me catches a car that's tight. And we heard earlier on, tight in the rear of the pack, when you've got all that push of dirty air, it's going to push these cars up the circuit. Greedy Me just catches what we call in Europe understeer, and there's nowhere to go.
What a mess. Third safety car or unsafety car of the race. Your 30 laps now complete. Both staying out in front of the pack. No big changes as far as drivers coming onto pit road or not. So Greedy Me, the only car lap down, and just took his lap back there on the apron. So circle back around and get out in front of the field. Hopefully get some green flag racing in here.
We can hope, can't we? And in the sense of what you look at here, they understand that this is about giving yourself option here. We're 31 in of 133. They've got 80% of a fuel tank to go and work with. Every time they go under this unsafety car period, it's a chance to save that fuel. Now, they're not going to be able to go 100 laps on an 80% fuel tank. That much we do know. But what they are looking at is siphoning off from a 2-stop strategy, maybe going to a 1-stop strategy if the tyres will allow them to do so. And even if you're not getting much, you know, we're talking about the difference of being, say, making this stop around lap 70 or lap 50 compared to making the stop around lap 60 and trying to look at maybe, okay, are we going to get into a position here, Jacob, where we're talking 2 tires at the end rather than 4?
All right, doubling up here as we get set for another restart. Would be curious to see how this does impact strategy like you were talking about. As we work our way through the Fizzy Pop 200 here from Charlotte. Getting ready to go back to green, Jacob Pitts and Jake's Barry with you. Jake and Jake show once again as we get set for the start, or we're already underway, the start of Season 4 of the Creator Series here on iRacing and all of our platforms throughout this evening. We'll be back from Nashville Super Speedway next week, and the series rolls on from now all the way to mid-August. There's only one off week. That is right at the start of August. Get a little bit of a summer break and then right back to it to wrap up the season. So, Justin Bowe and U Kando on the front row once again for our restart, finishing up crash number 3 or caution number 3 of the race. And they are back up through the gears. We are back to racing here from Charlotte. Oh, they're wrecking big. Multi-grid mashups into the wall. Reska Kioso is into the wall. Stormalina gets through. We are still green. But they really smashed them up in the back of the field as... Oh, boy. All right, still green.
It's the quintessential pinball there. Adam Nunez was the catalyst then on the in the middle, basically just tipped his nose in, and everyone else just went scatter as far as it went, happened near the back, so they'll stay green. There's also the issue of the fact that the unsafety cars have both wrecked themselves in quick succession, so there isn't actually an unsafety car to chuck back out there, Jacob, at the moment, so that might be another indication of why we're staying green. Stop wrecking, we're out of unsafety cars to go and work with at this point. Steelhorse Live making good progress there, gets by Sears Races, and that is going to be one to move on up into 6th position. Eyes on Yellow Vision as the next pass to get through. That would be for top 5. If Grant Bouvet has anything to say about this, could be for top 4.
And he is one that is expected to be very strong in these cars as we go throughout this season. Maybe not as much on the road courses, but look for track crash. Hard a car in the wall. It's Punju. Got turned into the outside wall off the 4. Up against the outside wall in the dog leg. We do stay green for now as he cut across the nose of encephalosis. Part of the outside, didn't know it, and smashed him up. We do stay green, though.
Why you should listen to your spotter. They'll say car left, car right, and it's so important when you hear car right on an oval because you don't expect it. That's the hit that goes through. You're in the middle, 3 wide, and Punju finds out he's in the wall, outside, and he's going to drop a lot of time and position. Very happy chappy. The Otters is out there, but he is just eating this field up a little bit, and we're getting a lot closer to this single file style running out there, and I think that's going to be helpful to a lot of drivers to establish rhythm and connection. Here is Goen. It's got an almighty run, tries to run up the circuit. Josh's corner ultimately gets pushed out of line, and Ryan L83 then has the option to say, look, I'll come back down low. We're going to start beating and banging about here.
All over each other, but Goen on those fresher tires, able to let it rip. On the outside, we'll pass them both, and we'll get away. And now more trouble to the inside wall. It's Des TV, another one in it, Motorsports Enthusiast again. Both of them have been involved in accidents already tonight. It happens again there, as I'm not sure what quite happened to that 21. Almost like a little loose there off the outside. Just came down the racetrack and hard into the inside wall. That engine is cooked for the 21. Likely done.
I don't think this was getting loose here, Jacob. I think this was a lack of spatial awareness, and the motorsports enthusiast called it out. Tried to move to get the run there on Josh's corner, completely forgot there was a car on his inside.
Turning into a scrapyard here from Charlotte Motor Speedway, the world's largest junkyard right here.
Race control have just said that their eyes were shut. They didn't see it.
Okay. That's good. We just almost had a pass in the grass, and now we have a spin. And Cephalosis is around. He clipped the grass or the turf down in turn on the front straightaway, and then just flat out lost it. Right here, no contact, just round he goes. There's a oh, I thought he kept it off the wall, just kind of brushed up against the inside wall, and is able to keep on running. A little bit of damage to the left side of that car. Hope it didn't break any key suspension parts in there.
Dare I say it there, Jacob, for Ancephalosis, did he just get the air taken off of him with 3 cars running straight up behind at a rate of knots? It's so easily done when you think you're feathering the throttle, even the tiniest amount of air taken off you behind. We talk about draft being important from behind. We don't often talk about it for what it does to the car in front as Kando is there with Yellow Vision now working here. This is the group 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th with Lithium Fox and Steel Horse Live. They're going to have to start making some work here. Justin Bowe, 1.3 down the road.
And you have to remember that all of these cars behind Kando are on fresher tires. Yellow Vision last on pit road 20 laps ago. Same with Steel Horse. Lithium Fox, it's been 31 laps. Here comes Steel Horse to the inside for that 4th position. Not quite make the pass here in 1 and 2, but trying to set her up for the other end of the racetrack is Yellow Vision sort of just lurking in the shadows, not trying to push it too far. Another experienced driver in these NASCAR machines and knows that things can get away from you pretty quickly. Just got to take it easy yourself, as here comes Yellow Vision to the inside for that 2nd spot, going into turn number 1, and he will take it away.
Yeah, that's comfy down the inside of 1, and I think you're going to get this understanding of they might have to work a little bit together right now. Kando having a little look over to the inside at 3, but Alet's better of it, just taking that secondary groove out there at the moment in the Mustang. The yellow Chevrolet basically bumblebeeing its way around right now in 2nd position. And I like it. We got all 3 manufacturers represented as Hula now forces it to 3 wide out there with Josh's corner, with the likes of Zach Mertes, who's making good progress. MGAG's Racing, they're also forcing the 2 wide. Norman Kyle has just got a view to all of this right now. And I'd say this is not an iron bowl out there at the moment, Jacob. I think this is more of a scrap iron bowl.
Certainly been that way to start. Closing in on 50 laps complete, 45 complete here as they come across the line. Justin Bowe, your race leader, you ride on board with Auburn Kyle. Work back up to the front after getting involved in some contact early.
Got 1, he's got 2. MGAG's Racing, I think, is going to get the whole lot here in towards 3. That is a mega run with Zach Mertes, and it's now getting chippy behind as well as they go to 2 and 2. Inside plays the game well as Hula then and also Dez get themselves the clearance that they need, but MGAG has really got a turn of cadence right now going through the mid-pack.
Fastest car on the racetrack that last time by was your race leader, a 30.29. He has a 1.5 second lead over Yellow Vision. Lithium Fox and Steel Horse Live have both passed Kando, and here comes Steel Horse looking for 3rd as they work their way back into turn number 1. There you see your race leader well out in front. Steel Horse will make the pass here off the corner, take over that 3rd spot, chopping the nose.
There wasn't much clearance. There was just about enough of it. So Lithium
trouble!
Fox,
Car around.
there is trouble.
It's Dez again. Off of turn 2. It has been the horrible, no good, rotten day for It's Dez TV. Stay green.
I think one of the issues we're seeing here, Jacob, for those who are newer to NASCAR, to jump immediately into the next gen and to try and make it work, it takes some finesse to go and get it exactly how you want to. That's why we talk about the O'Reilly series. That's why we talk about jumping through. That's jumping through for MGAG's Racing at this moment in time. you start talking about having to go up through the level, going through street stocks, going through modifieds, going up to that top level, going through the camping trucks. It builds a portfolio of what you can do. If you jump straight in at the top, you're going to have to hope that you can hold on to a thoroughbred.
Board there with M-Gags Racing. P11 trying to chase down Mertes for 10th. Things have spread out for the moment. We'll battle up ahead of them. B-Roy getting by Ryan. Those are two drivers we talked to before the drop of the green flag. B-Roy now up to 8th. Replay of the pass, and pretty easy stuff down here in turn number 3. You've got some about 8-lap pressure tires there on that 54, able to make the pass, no sweat.
Yep, no worries, and I've just got word in here, Jacob, that Race Control have decided to open their eyes again.
Oh, good.
Oh, look at MGAG really trying to push a lane out there. Ryan L83 really struggling to get any rotation through the middle of the corner, just having to wait and wait and wait. And then there's the clearance, how you manage the tires, how you're able to get a car to work. Look at MGAGs, can run the bottom, can run the top, can run anywhere. Not everybody in this field has the luxury of being able to get the car to do whatever they want it to do.
Some of that is just the perks of fresher tires. You look at M-Gags last on pit road 30 laps ago. For somebody like Ryan, similar story, but it may just be a difference of knowing how to save your tires versus abusing your tires here on this longer green flag run. Maybe the situation we're running into here. We're starting to see who can really take care of their equipment and who's maybe pushing it a little too hard on this run, as we've gone about 20 to 25 laps now without seeing any of the Audis on the racetrack. As we do have cars pitting, Ukando is on pit road. This is a scheduled green flag pit stop. One of the cars that had not come onto pit road before with the unsafety cars. So Ukando now will make the call to visit pit lane. 54 laps is how far he made it before coming onto pit road.
So doing the math on that, 54, 108, it's going to leave about 25 laps then at the end of this one. So that'll be about a half filled then to the end of the race. And I'd argue that you might want to try and save some fill time by the amount of tyres that you've got. D Goodin and M-Gags Racing now making the push. This for 7th, M-Gags down on the bottom. These two drivers starting outside of the top 25, pushing on forward and saying we're going to trade it about. B-Roy just in front, who went from 18th.
Of course, if you are going to have to pit now, you're hoping that things will at least cycle around and you can get back onto the lead lap. Although you would at least be able to get your lap back if the field were to end up slowing things down once again. Battle continues to work its way through turns 1 and 2.
And I guess as well, one of the things that we can talk about with green flag stops is the amount of overspeed drivers are going to have on fresh tyres compared to old and used rubber out there. And that could be the difference of well over a second and a half a lap that you can see in various elements as Auburn Kyle works to try and move himself up into 9th place over Zach Mertes. And so if you've got that difference and you're putting that difference of tyre offset lap after lap as Josh's corner now makes the call down into the lane, what are you going to do when you go?
Man, your race leader about got run over trying to get onto pit road. He came over the radio, said he was pitting, and Ancephalosas just about ran up the back of him coming off of turn number 4. Your race leader actually bounced it off the outside pit wall coming onto pit lane. There's the replay. There's the shunt to the safer barrier there. Doesn't look like too much damage, but he has a black flag. Speeding on pit road for driver number 81, and he's going to have 40 seconds to sit in the box and think about what he's done. And that might just derail the race for the driver of the 81, and perhaps a little hot coming on the pit road because he was looking in the rearview mirror trying not to get run over.
Look, you have to communicate it, and Justin Bo20 has got to do a better job of saying, I'm coming down into the pits. Ancephalosas would have seen it late and wouldn't have had the time to deload going there through 4. So that is what's creating a lot of that drama. It was just a tag on through, and because he was trying to hit his mark absolutely perfectly, any tag from behind is going to send you through the gun speeding out there, and they're going to catch you all the time out there. Basically, cop behind the barrel says, nope, you've been caught speeding, you got to do the time out there at this point. But they will note that there is always a way back in Creator Series, and that is what makes it so special.
Yellow Vision currently a race lead, around in front by 2.2 seconds over Steel Horse in second. Going is third. Lithium Fox fourth. B-Roy is fifth. Only one car has not come onto pit road to this point. It is Sear Races in 15th, the 23, and I would imagine we're going to see her on pit road here shortly, as you're going to be about on empty without making a stop here.
Pretty
in fact, she's
impressive,
coming
though.
to pit road this time.
It's pretty impressive, though, if you want to put it like that, though, Jacob, because that is 61 laps, or 60 laps on the stint. Of course, was helped with a number of safety cars or cautions that came out, but ultimately, you get it 60, you'd be arguing, I want 50 to 55 on the next run as we go on board with Solstice here as we work into the middle of this race now, and this is what we would probably argue about and say, this is the meat and potatoes. That's close.
Somebody's around off of 2, down to the inside, and it's Encephalosis again. Got loose again in turn 2 and made himself his own little chicane down the back, and actually did hit that inside wall again. And I'm not quite sure if there's a bump here at this point in the racetrack, Jake, because it is the same spot where he got loose the last time, and it just slowly comes around on him. Does a great job keeping it pointed in the right direction, just cannot keep it off that inside wall.
Very well done. Got it all locked up and only had so much to deal with out there, and Sears Races as well, just coming off of pit lane then and getting back up to speed and trying to navigate through. If it were a race from this point onwards, I think this becomes really fascinating in terms of who lines up, who ends up where out there at this point. But I would now be starting to wonder here, who is going to step up and say, okay, we're going to play long game, we're going to play strategy, we're going to get some good old-fashioned racing in play. MGAG's again moving. This is the lap down Storm Molina to clear right now as we go on board with Zach Mertes here in that 7th place. And everyone in this group is now starting to find that form, but that was a little tag at the wall there out of 4, and you've got to be cautious about that. One small tag doesn't mean too much, but the more you start knocking around this next gen, you're going to be affecting one very important thing if you expose a tyre, the fuel mileage out there. As Greedy Meat looks to try and move down on the bottom here in 10th position. It is getting busy. Ryan L83 is going backwards very quick as Els Indriani now looks to line up the SpyX family machine to move on through.
Now, the fuel economy is not great if you start bouncing this car off the wall, and it doesn't have a lot of speed if you keep doing that as well. We saw an incident on the opening lap of the Coke Series race last night where there was an issue on the initial start. Had a couple of cars end up playing bumper cars, some significant front-end damage to some cars. They never had a caution, so they never had enough time to fix it, and that cost them around 3 to 4 tenths a lap around the racetrack with the damage on the front of these cars. So it certainly can have an impact.
Yeah, just don't ask Parker White how he feels about it.
Oh, yeah, he was one that was very fired up at the end of the night. It's the first time I think I've ever seen a driver upset that it went caution-free, wire to wire.
Well, sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them out there, and I think in a situation like this, you're hoping for, if you did get yourself caught up in damage, you are praying that the caution comes along, but ultimately it's in a position where it does not look that likely at this point in time. They're getting good laps down, they're chunking through this race, and they still have an hour and 2 minutes to get it all sorted. Again, Ryan L83 is just suffering with a car that just does not want to drive out of corners. This is Adam Nunez, then in the number 18, that is going to get the move done. But Ryan is going to chuck it up high, hope that he can drop it down off the banking like you see in some of the European velodromes out there. But he's going to get a good run here off of 2, and he says, you know what? I've got game, and game respect game.
Part of pit road, Lithium Fox, the 47. She'll come down onto pit road here from the top 5. and will make the call. This is a scheduled stop, 56 laps since she was last on pit road. Meanwhile, that's about 10 more laps than our race leader, Yellow Vision, who makes his way off of 4 here with a 3.5-second lead over Steel Horse in second, going in third. And remember, there is some damage, or was some damage to that 69 after that first incident that was not deemed a caution.
Yeah, it looks like the fast repair has dealt with that one, though, fine. So that's just one chalked off of the many that have been going on about in this one. Now you've got Rescue Go, so Ryan L83, you've got Ukando trying to work through and a lap down. There is List, and he's there looking to try and get the drive off the exit. And List does get the clearance then, but will be behind Ukando. So that is a jump out there as far as strategy has set itself about. But you've seen the varying lines there going through, very eager into the corner, pushing very aggressive up the circuit. Rescue Kyoso, not something that we're used to seeing out there. Normally you're trying to get that nice out to into outline, and Lid's going to work the high side, trying to say, look, I've got fresh tyres, I'm going to use it. And look at it, it's basically a case of I'm standing still, everyone else just breezing through.
As we continue through this green flag run, we are going to run into more instances of that where we have fresh tires and not so fresh tires, and it will be very obvious who was just on pit road and who needs to still make an appearance on pit lane. You can also see how this racetrack is changing quite a bit. You still have plenty of sunshine right now in turns 1 and 2 to around the middle of the back straightaway, but as you get into turns 3 and 4, the other end of the racetrack, you encounter a lot of shade as that sun continues to set. That shade continues to linger through the front stretch and through at least turn 1. You ride on board here with going lots of sun as you work your way down the back straightaway. And that means you've got a cooler end of the racetrack and a hotter end of the racetrack, which means turns 1 and 2, they're on the slicker side of things. 3 and 4, things are a little bit cooler. Right now, track temp 87 degrees, probably a couple of degrees higher some half hour ago when we got this thing underway.
And to that point as well, I would argue that they're moving up half a groove, maybe even a groove up in various elements, because the track will rubber in with a lot of green flag running that we're seeing going. Then in a scrap with Steel Horse Live, this is what's going on right now for second out there at this point. Goen has reeled in Steel Horse in the 69 machine, which ultimately, with a pass like that for Goen, Steel Horse will say, that's not as nice as I would quite like it there. Number 87 up then into P2, and now with 4.5 seconds to chase, going over to Yellow Vision.
And all 3 of them last pitted 52 laps ago, so this is not an instance of fresh tires versus older tires. They are all on the same tire strategy at this point, and I would imagine we're going to see them on pit road here in the next handful of laps.
Yep, and in the next handful of laps, we are going to be saying, right, this could be everything out there and then some, because they are now looking to knuckle down towards the end of the race. And if they can get it to a position of, 60 laps to go, and we're on lap 76 of 133, I don't need to be Einstein to understand, if they're going 60 laps out there, Jacob, we could be talking about the start of the final caution out there. So I think that, the start of the final run out there that they're trying to look at, that they hope they don't get a caution. In comes Auburn Kyle then for his stop as he rolls down pit lane. So this is going to be critical as far as they're looking, and 171 alerts everybody in the world here, Hitsy, that this is going to be Yellow Vision coming down in and taking green flag service.
Have to be perfect coming onto pit road as well as coming off of pit road. Little bit of a lockup. And on pit road is the 171 that will hand the lead over to Goen. Going to the front, and and he overshot his box. The 171 overshot his box, had to back up. That's going to cost him just a tenth or two. It'll add up quick, though.
And ultimately...
Sorry, Jake, Steel Horse is going to come on to pit road here as well from that now second spot as Goen stays out for another lap.
Yep, it's getting busy.
Whoa, he's going to spin! He's going to spin! He's in the tires! Oh, no, he hit the barrels! That car is junked.
I think that's enough damage out there to the structure that they might have to throw a safety car for that one out there, quote unquote. Anything to spice this up. Steel Horse Live, we talk about it so often. You've got to get it on pit lane, and he locked it up at the last opportunity as he hit the brakes. And look at that, 3 wheels on my wagon, fast repair and back again.
That's still going to cost him anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds, though, because of the spin, slide, and slam into the barrels. As Jonathan Cadell, Steel Horse, ends up stepping on it, coming onto pit road. Zach Mertez is now in the pit lane. Adam Nunez, both in the top 5. Steel Horse is down and away and is working his way back onto the racetrack. Greedy Me is coming back onto pit road for a black flag as Goins on pit road, your race leader.
Yeah, so this will cycle B-Roy now up to the front and take a little bit of lappage then to set in play. 81 of 133 as they now look to make their marks and get their box. I'll tell you what you like. You can customize that, actually. Your box out there that says, look, I can go and see everything that is out there and working. And Yellow Vision, 6th position right now, just slowly trying to claw this back. Oh, hello, that's a lift.
Yeah, well, no, that's not a lift. That's putting in the clutch. He is saving fuel.
Well, you've got to try and get this one to the end. So I think this is a case of I'm trying to get this back on one stop, and I doubt I'm going to see another yellow out there is the question that I think is being posed by Yellow Vision.
Only yellow he's going to see is out the windshield on the hood of the race car at this point.
So I would argue at this stage that this could be on fuel where Aaron Smith is going to be really good, Yellow Vision. I think he is looking to try and get himself then into play. I think he realizes that if this stays long game, that's going to work. It's a case of if everybody else is turning around and keeping their eyes open, this could be one where trouble can befall at the smallest opportunity. Zach Mertis here and Ukando. Then this is for 8th and 9th, and we're going to jump and take a look then from behind, trying to move through. Ngags Racing, who has had a rate of knots. I haven't seen him stop gaining on anyone all day long. D. Gooden into the pits. Low side, it's going to work. Ukando now starting to pay back the Pied Piper.
B-Roy on the pit lane, your current race leader. Yellow Vision trying to chase him down. Looks like he'll do so without a problem. He has about 4-second lead or so over Lithium Fox, who is going to cycle out to be 2nd. Solstice, she has yet to come onto pit road in that 27. So Lithium Fox about 5.5 seconds back from the leader. And then there's going. Steel Horse, by the way, is going to cycle out looking like 10th after that incident coming onto pit road.
That's going to sting. You go into racing action and you're on top, and then suddenly you realise you are nowhere. Elzindriani almost into the side there of B-Roy coming through 4, and so that's going to be a little bit awkward. Auburn Kyle is immediately following, and so that's just a case of never let anybody know how you're feeling out there. B-Roy very much has got the poker shades on there, and I think he's holding a pretty decent hand out there. I think he's got Jack 10 off.
Still in there in the shades for B-Roy. We are now under 50 laps to go.
Amazing how quickly this flies when we set ourselves in a long green flag run. B-Roy happily jumping by the motorsports enthusiast out there, and with the likes then into the lane being Solstice. The chase is with Goen, and that gap 1.2 seconds trying to be reeled down now already, down to 9/10 at that regard. So that's going to be to 3rd and Lithium Fox to 2nd. So this is really good work here from B-Roy. This is what we'd say is a good old chase, but Goen right now up against Lift trying to run away. Lift having a little bit of help or hindrance, depending where you catch it. With Adam Nunez here, is going to need to find the clearance, and they're going to have to play ball respectively here. Low side look, Traffic plays its ball, goes up high and says, you know what, I'm going to leave yourself just enough room, but not enough to even get clearance on lap. Traffic, my oh my.
Trying to reset at this point. Catch your breath. With under 50 to go, Yellow Vision out in front by quite a ways.
Oh, that's wall.
Oh, in the wall. Yeah, that's Lithium Fox, and that's going to open up the window. We have a car facing the wrong way at pit entry. That's multi-grid mashup that went around, trying to get onto pit road.
So this might just be pushing a little bit too hard here, so we'll take the replay. So there's the pass first and foremost. Now you're going to try and switch back and say, okay, I want to go high side as far as this one's set. Now works for it, overdrives it in through 3, and instead of lifting out of it and driving it back down, that's a case of I'm going to keep my foot in it and hope it plays ball. And now you can't do that in real world NASCAR, but I think we turn a blind eye because we love what the Hail Melon was.
Out here, B-Roy going in this battle for second. Lithium Fox has slipped back a little bit. And as we've gone through this race, especially under green flag, the cream continues to rise to the top. And that is what we've seen here with some of these oval specialists out in front. Yellow Vision, B-Roy going. You saw Steel Horse showing his strength as well. Closing on 40 to go.
If this one's going to go all the way on a long run, I think this one could be very much set as far as it goes. The motorsports enthusiast then jumps down into lane, but our focus is on here the likes of Goen, who is trying to keep B-Roy in sight. So the change has happened for second, and they are doing a good job of reeling in Yellow Vision. The issue is going to be if you catch Yellow Vision out there, Jacob, and this one stays out the way it needs to. Yellow Vision's playing the fuel game to a T, so how do you play up against someone who's trying to make that game work? You're going to have to get by them, past them, and gain the gap. No chance that's happening right now.
It's going to be very difficult for these guys because eventually your tires are going to fall off, right? And you're going to end up running the same lap times that Yellow Vision is right now. Instead of, lap times falling off the cliff, Yellow Vision's going to be pretty flat, all things considered, from now to the end of the run, while drivers like B-Roy and Goen, they're really going to start to fall off throughout this run. It's going to be very, very difficult for these guys to catch Yellow Vision here. We had a premature safety car.
Oh, yeah. But we could be seeing eyes on look at this on the merge there. That's going to be awkward, and you don't want anyone understeering up. That's Dej trying to get back up onto power out there, and ultimately as you're trying to set yourself to get the drive at this point, if you're going to slide up the circuit, you're really fighting to get yourself off the exits, and you know that you are just trying to keep yourself in and say, right, what more can I do to get the drive, to get the understanding? And the toughest time to actually drive one of these NASCARs, I would argue, is coming out of the pits.
Yeah. It absolutely is, as you're trying to get up to speed, pressure tires, trying to keep it on the apron to avoid getting a black flag. It is not easy. Get some of the rubber that builds up down there. Safety car has been deployed. It says it has been deployed. We are under caution with 38 laps to go. Oh, and now, their leader is around. Your leader is spun off turn 4. He got turned around by Goen, I think. No, Grand Pooh Bear turned him around. He's now coming onto pit road. It is madness here.
Grand Pooh Bear was trying to be really aggro diving down into the lane. The reason why the unsafety car has been called, it's because it was an unauthorized unsafety car that's gone out. So effectively a fan has hijacked the unsafety car to go through. MGAD's Racing is now going to get a speeding penalty onto the marks. And this has caused the chaos that everyone has turned around and gone, oh, I didn't really want that. Here's a look at it there. Just mind your own business. Car on the inside, you're trying to get by as Josh's corner, and you get one in the door.
Ukando has stayed out and is currently a race leader. Steelhorse also stays out. He sits second. Now Ukando's on the apron. So is Steelhorse. So they just stayed out an extra lap. They will be coming onto pit road this time. Another angle of the contact there with the race leader.
Look, most people would have found a barrier out there or would have been in with the pit crews there on the wall. And ultimately, to keep that one out of anything there and just a small tap around, that tells you all you need to know. Now, this is Grand Pooh Bear's view of things as he works his way into 4. So he's high up here, but look at this. He's trying to square off the line, get narrow, get aggressive into the lane. He's over. Oh, he just paints himself into the corner there, Jacob, as Dez also had the off there on the right.
Oh, boy. Well, we're just asking for trouble here, aren't we?
Are you having fun yet, Jacob?
And I thought we were going to go green all the way, and I was going to say, yeah, we had a long green flag run to end it. Strategy played out. And then stop giving out credentials, I guess.
Well, it's going to be one of those races where I think that you set yourself up and they know that it is going to be close as they head themselves towards the end. It was looking good for a long green flag run to get it sorted, but now comes the question of you've had so long without a safety car, an unsafety car being called. How is this going to play as we have 45 minutes on the clock and 35 laps to go? This is going to set itself. There's no doubt that we're going to be getting ourselves into a position here where it's going to be lap certain. It's just the question of how long is it going to be lap certain, and will we have the need to go to overtime?
I hope not, right? That's what everybody's thinking. Let's get it in just under green and be done. We have had a scoring issue.
No, I'll tell you what Hula's done.
Hula.
I'll tell you what Hula's done. Hula has gone by, unlapped himself too many times. Now, we see it a bit here in Creator Series.
Oh, multi-grid matchup just did it too.
Yep, they are all going to be told, hold up, wait, you've got to get back in line, Sonny. Sometimes it's the way it goes, isn't it? That you make the mistake and you're not paying attention. They're not going to be penalised for it too badly. I think the worst they'll get is an end of line.
We have not doubled up at this point. And Ukando is confused as to where he needs to be. So we have a scoring nightmare on our hands at this point with closing in on 35 laps to go. In fact, I think we're there right now. And now Reska Kioso is driving by the whole field. He has slowed down and figured it out.
Yep, he has. And ultimately, you've got to be very switched on to where everyone is spotter-wise, because you'll look around, you'll get the blue or the red. Red indicates that you're behind. Blue indicates they're behind you. Red indicates they're ahead by a lap or so. So you've got to be very switched on as far as that goes. But they are going to have to try and find themselves into line. And Race Control does have an eye on it here with Hula and multi-grid mashup. So they're not completely out of the wilderness with it. It's not a case of everyone's completely lost with it. There is a way to gather it back up. They are slowly doing so right now. And Hula, for example, is parked on the left-hand side. He's going to have the field go by at this point, and that's going to create the pass then that's done and said, right, okay, you're back in line. Next up then, multi-grid mashup is going to have to be the next one who's going to have to find that and slow.
Oh, wait, he's rolling again. Why does he... Again, yeah. This is the second time now.
Yeah,
Park it.
I think it was parked, but the issue is that race control thought they had both covered, but didn't see that multi-grid mashup was in a position, now has parked it again, and is now going to have this position to say, look, we're going to hold out. All of this will mean, I don't mind this is happening if you're Yellow Vision, if you're B-Roy, if you're Adam Nunez, because you get to save a bit more fuel. And Rhino 83 here, Jacob, is on a journey.
Well, he hasn't stopped believing, that's for sure. And eventually, at the end of the day, we'll all go our separate ways and move on from there. Victor Lane's going to welcome somebody, though, with open arms by the time this thing is said and done, as we approach 30 laps to go under our fourth unsafety car of the night. Yellow Vision is your race leader. Have not been given the 1-to-go signal yet. Got a couple of cars coming onto pit road. Multi-grid mashup is parked on the apron. That's what you just saw. Who accidentally blew by the field and got ahead of everybody.
So, I would say that's going to clear on the inside. So that's now field cycle back into position as multi-grid mashup falls to the back of the line. I would probably argue we're then soon going to be at 1 to go. Lithium Fox then setting up ready in 5th position, has sort of been in and around, knocking on the door, needs something big to go and make this happen to get the result that's necessary. Some really strong work that's been done actually as well by Lithium Fox there to get that entire setup all rigged up, all ready, and actually to have it so seamless the way it mirrors up to all the inputs there, Jacob.
Amazing what the technology can do at this point in time, right?
Absolutely. And when you get a look at what technology will be, it's not just a case of what the streamers are doing with technology. It's not just what the cars are doing with technology. It's what everyone is looking to combine and drive that experience and to go and get it further. And, you know, you're going to a level and saying, look, we're here to inform and to entertain. And we've had a lot of entertaining out there, as there is Els Indriani, or as she is trying to get with the moniker here today, Dales Jr. Out there trying to get her inner running out there to say, look, I'm going to get my Earnhardt on, and I'm going to get my run as we go double fire, which indicates to me 1 to green.
The R1 to green will get a restart with 31 laps to go. You're from Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Fizzy Pop 200. Jacob Pitts, Jake Sperry with you. Gareth Allen, our producer, director, doing it all behind the scenes. We will bring this thing in for a landing. Final 31 laps. Yellow Vision out in front. It'll be B-Roy on the outside. Then going Adam Nunez, Zach Mertez, your top 5. Lithium Fox, Auburn Kyle, Ryan L83, Sear Races, and Kando are your top 10. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. We're back to racing. Trouble, front straightaway. Encephalosis, oh, this is huge. Rescott Kioso is in it. Dez is in it. Motorsport Enthusiast is in it. Safety car. We didn't even get to 3rd gear.
No.
Somebody jumped. You want to talk about a Kyle Busch restart for the NASCAR fans in the crowd? That is brutal. You watch Dez on the restart. The 21 just flying up the middle. Not legal in any form of racing. Runs into the back of one car that gets encephalosis around, and then Dez gets hooked and it's on.
Well, Des has had a day that arguably out there has been battered around from pillar to post, and I think that he just, saw the lights, went for it, drove for it, and ultimately thought he could get through, completely misjudges it. That is about as, as tough of a day as you can probably set with it. And I would argue that just culminates just how rotten of a time it's been for him.
All right, so we're back behind the safety car. That was fun.
So, motorsport enthusiast who was caught up in it is going to take some time to get that down on the lane. The car is looking pretty beaten and bruised out as far as this one goes, but it is more laps. I'd expect this to be very short in terms of a run that goes through. So that's a case of Holt, Yellow Vision in control, B-Roy second, Goen third, and Adam Nunez then in fourth. Zach Mertes got the jump over Lithium Fox fifth and sixth, with Auburn Kyle seventh, and then Ryan L83. I want to give some credit here to Ryan. Started third, which would indicate gonna struggle here in this one to be only down 5 out there in what is one of your first real NASCAR style races. I'd say that's a job well done.
That's not Adam Nunez. Oops, there he is. Just the way we drew it up, right?
Yep. That's faultless. First time.
All right. Well, we're going to get a restart here. Hopefully, we'll get 1 to green this time by. We're waiting for the 2. 2?
I don't think we have a 2.
Oh, we're waiting for 2. I can't read. So, Encephalosis still needs to unlap. And I think Dez has parked it.
Yep. That's down in the pits. So if Dez can't get back out onto run and has burnt through all of the fast repairs that are there, that's going to set things into motion. Encephalosis now has rejoined the back of the pack. So I think we're going to be sat in a position here where we can feasibly argue 1 to go is possible. But for the moment, I don't think we're there. I think we've just caught it a little late. But we're going to be getting towards the witching hour quite soon at, 27, 26 laps to go. So I think you're settling down and saying, look, if you want to go and win it, you're going to have to be aggressive.
But if you're too aggressive and you keep bringing out cautions, we're not going to get anywhere. You know what I mean? If we keep only getting a lap or 2 in before we start crashing again, got to make it even harder to pass without dumping somebody.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a position where you just continually go again, go again, go again, go again. Because the worst scenario of it is there's going to be no advantage out there for those who took tyres compared to those who don't. You want to be aggressive off these starts. You want to be getting these places. And at the end of the day, this is Creator Series for it. You don't want to be out there just constantly stopping and going, stopping and going. Nobody wants to see that for the content. They want to see some good close quarters battling that's out there. And so if they're going to want to set that up, they know that they're going to have to, firstly, get themselves through the first lap of these restarts, and secondly, battle fair.
All right, safety car in this lap. Hopefully they take the keys out of the ignition.
Out of goggles. Now, that's something I do know. The goggles have come off.
Serious time.
Yeah, we're all in. It's almost like the Ash Ketchum turns his hat backwards meme. We know it's going to go down. The goggles are off.
That lean forward, lock in. Let's get it done, right?
Yeah, let's lock in, chat.
17.
It's that sort of thing.
Going to be a tough hill to climb. Or MGAG's racing coming through the mid-pack like that, but we'll see what happens. Here on this restart that we're half a lap away from. will get this restart with 26 laps to go. Here in the Fizzy Pop 200 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. And race 1, the Creator Series Season 4 here on iRacing, as well as the Creator Series platforms. Works its way through 3. Yellow Vision and B-Roy on the front row once again, going at Adam Nunez, 3rd and 4th. Then Mertez, Lithium Fox, Auburn, Kyle, Ryan, L83, Sear Races, and Grand Pooh Bear, your top 10. Pace car in. Field to the restart zone. 26 laps to go. Here from Charlotte, we're back to green. Back straightaway, Yellow Vision out in front, going 2 car lengths back in second. B-Roy on the outside, Zach Mertez with a great restart. He's on the inside looking for that 3rd spot.
Mertes is really trying to say it, and he's on the radio here. Zach saying, go, go, go. You've got to go. You've got to move. We've got to do something out there. I'm not going to stick by and start playing games with you. We've got to start being aggressive. Gowen's going to be sitting there. 6th then is there side-by-side. A little bang in the wall there from 7th place there for Claire Races. So that's going to be a case of they are going to be fighting that second group. Mertes going up high side now, starting to look then for that 3rd. That's not going to work, and that's only going to invite the pressure from Liv, who tries to look down low and gets the block.
Only going to get more and more aggressive here in these final 24 laps. Here from Charlotte. Roy Mertez still in the battle. You've got Lithium Fox right behind. Here comes Auburn Kyle, shot out of a cannon. Side by side with Adam Nunez for that 6th position.
And I think what's key is that look at the difference there is between being in the tow and being completely out of it. It's like hitting a wall of air and there's nothing you can do it. I'm sure that they look to try and find it. Here comes the big move though. B-Roy gets to the outside of Going now, looking for this one for second, and he's going to get the help of tow coming off of 2 and into 3, and will get clearance through. It's now B-Roy's responsibility to chase down Yellow Vision, but here comes Gowen back off 4.
And Yellow Vision's looking in the mirror and smiling ear to ear, loving what he's seeing these cars side by side like this as we approach 22 to go. We just had the fastest lap of the race. Why is there a safety car on the racetrack?
Why isn't there a safety
Doing
car on
200
the
miles an
racetrack?
hour?
Why isn't there? He's having fun. Let him be.
Battle for second continues here.
Really trying to get it and gets right up in the grill there of B-Roy, pinches him to a car width gap, and he's now looking to try and play track commander, and you get those drivers who are passive and those who are out there and take exactly what they want. I think Gowen realizes, I'm going to get what he wants. That was not fully clear.
Both bounced it off the fence. B-Roy says, hey, it's all right, let's go get him.
Right attitude to have at this stage. You still want to try and count your chickens here and say, this is what you've got. You're looking for the clearance, comes out of the corner, boom, gives him a little shot and has a little bit of a tag there with the wall as well for good measure, but they know they've got to do something. 7/10 now suddenly hits the gap, and it's getting close and very nearly contact there. Keep an eye as well on Justin Bo20, already up into 7th and now looking for 6th on Lift Box.
He is flying right now. The question is he going to run out of laps to get to the very front of the field? They're trying to crash on the front straightaway. They keep it pointed in the right direction. M-Gags almost got hooked into the wall with Steel Horse and with Ryan L83 as they were 3 wide. Oh, and now Ryan L gets turned into the outside wall. We stay green for now, coming back down into traffic, and a hard hit to the outside safer barrier in turn number 2. It's a multi-car pileup, and the safety car is deployed.
Well, it was a very begrudging call of the safety car from Tom Knight, who is in the unsafety car for us here today. Ryan did everything to try and hook it up. I tell you who got the wrong end of the stick. Punju, he was absolutely sent for a ride off of that hit.
Oh.
Massive dispersion
Hold on.
energy. Here's the hold, and then boom.
We've got cars on pit road. Your race leader has come onto pit road. These guys were thinking about pitting. Now they've been told to stay out because it screwed up the scoring last time around. But they were already on pit road, so this is a disaster again. Under 20 laps to go. The race leaders wanted to come onto pit road to get some fresh tires. B-Roy stayed out. I'd be curious to see who is actually going to be scored as the race leader out of this.
Well, for the moment, if they've come into the pits willingly here, Jacob, and they get themselves back out again, I'd argue they've forfeited their place.
They did establish under that last safety car that if a caution does come out, you can't pit
dummy!
right away.
Dummy! Look at that. 2-3 throwing, and it was the late call. Zach Mertis had to really respond to stay out.
Yeah, that was Mertis with a hard right that missed it. Steel Horse does come onto pit road, though. Yellow Vision and company are going to stay out. Huh?
Why not?
So why would they pit and then not take service and then stay? There's the replay of Mertis.
I believe what we're looking at here is I activate the spell card Change of Heart. At least Gareth laughs at me on that one. Oh my. Oh my. But Jacob, I think this now sets itself up for a really interesting phase of the race. And I'd argue maybe they're not coming in right now because maybe they want an extra lap to say we've got an extra bit of advantage on the tire. So I'll take the hit now. I'll be out of position now. But if I come in on the next lap, because we know that we've got at least 2 to 3 to go through and we're not going to get penalised for coming in whenever we want, that's going to be the latest opportunity that we come in and pit. That's going to be where we gain our advantage and we're not going to lose the track position.
Well, here's the problem. You've got 28 cars on the lead lap. So you pit, you're going to be starting in the back half. Now Yellow Vision comes onto pit road, as does Goen. Most others are going to end up staying out here. Steel Horse, who just pitted, is back outside the top 20. So not a lot of takers here on pit road, and you're going to have at best 15 laps. Try and get back to the front.
You pray for the big one, aren't you?
And you pray that you're not part of the big one. We are doubling up. Safety car will be in this lap.
In theory, you're hoping to try and avoid it by being at the back, which is good news. But as we all know, everyone's going to get more aggressive now they want to win. Chance of that goes up. And as we know, Jacob, last one in pays the insurance bill.
All right. Unsafety car will head to pit lane. Our restart will be with 13. Nope, I can read 15 laps to go. There's the unsafety car. B-Roy and Zach Mertes on the front row. Yellow Vision is restarting 27th on fresh tires. Steel Horse is 20th. Back to green. Crash! Front straightaway into turn number 1. Huge crash into the outside wall. D. Gooden is in it. We are still green.
They're still going here on through 2. Troubles for Yellow Vision, who's around, and also
now it's out.
Kando, who are both caught up in that. So they're able to find themselves with a lot of trouble, but the front won't mind it. They'll continue on right now, and they'll be very happy at the fact that they've got that clearance here. B-Roy in control, Zach Mertis in second, then Auburn, Kyle, and Lithium Fox. 4 clear, Adam Nunez, back about 6 car lengths.
All right, well, now I'm confused because you have the safety car on the apron here heading into 3. We are still green. B-Roy out in front of the field. We're coming around to 13 laps to go. We are still green. Checking in on the folks that already stopped. Yellow Vision is stuck back in 26th. Goen is 22nd. Steel Horse is 19th, but I believe you may have gotten some damage from that last crash. So if you pitted, you have absolutely thrown this race away. In the wall, car off the corner. It's M-Gags. We stay green. Lost a spot, though, in the process to Nunez.
Yep, so Nunez has held that fifth. M-Gags is trying to move through and is going to get a great drive down low, and that's going to get that pass, and that's one on the process. You've also got iRacing, who is also getting some progress here late on in the day, and understanding here as we enter the twilight soon that you've got to make something happen. You've got to start a move, and someone who is moving very well as we focus on with Grand Pooh Bear right now, who's going to get the run here on Adam Nunez and move up to 7th. It's Auburn Kyle who looks like he's the quickest of the front three.
Have enough time to get to the front. Oh, big gaggle off of turn number 4, about 7th or 8th spot. Grand Pooh Bear almost got turned around.
Oh. And
Yikes.
Nunez gets one in the side, and that will drop him down to the back of the group.
Nunez has been bullied here the last couple laps.
Well, if you don't have the tyre, it's simple. Get to the back! Reska going full sideways, can't keep out.
Oh, there they go!
A huge hit.
That is a big crash off of turn 4.
Safety car call.
We are under caution.
Look, gets hit on a quarter panel, did everything to try and save it. Then the influx of grip comes in. No way of stopping that.
That was not pretty. Just couldn't save it.
Did so well, got it back to straight, but the moment that you needed that car to unload, it just unloaded massively the other way. It's what we'd call in the industry a tank slapper.
Oh, jeez, the 38. Oh, no, into the wall.
It's greedy me trying to limp it back to pits with I think about 1 million miles of left hand down there.
Yeah, that car's broke. Turn right to go left? Ouch.
Look, they say that 2 wrongs don't make a right there, Jacob, but we do know that 3 rights do in fact make a left turn.
Yeah. What a mess.
So I'm interested here on how it cycles, because you've got the likes of the motorsport enthusiasts going in for tyres. You've got Justin Bo20 going for tyres and just saying, look, how many places can I gain late here with 8 laps to go? I think this sets itself up now as a really interesting front race here with B-Roy and Zach Mertis. Auburn Kyle's going to need something good off of this restart. M-Gags has clearly got pace, and so too does iRacing. And here's the thing. iRacing has been really quiet in this race. M-Gags has always been making moves up the order. You got those who have been near the front, at the front. Now's the time where you got to start basically saying, look, you've made your bed. Now it's time you go and lie in it.
So this is the last safety car of the race. We are green the rest of the way once we get back under green for the restart.
So, gloves off. No rules. This is going to be like old school outlaw stuff.
Yeah. I believe hopefully here we're going to get 1 to green here. But we still got Nunez and Ukando trying to get back on the lead lap, so it'll be 1 more lap.
And with that extra lap, that's 1 less lap of opportunity here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, which I don't know how you feel about it, Jacob. I think this is the quintessential 1.5 miles.
I think the safety car is purposely slowing the field down more so we can get back to green this time by. I think that's what I understood.
Yeah, it's only going, I think, 71 kilometers an hour, so that'll be about, what, 45, 50 miles an hour, so less than interstate speed at this moment. Desperate to get the field together. desperate to get this one stacked up as they get themselves going. So I think that's a really good decision. The more green flag laps, the better.
So hopefully a restart here with 6 laps to go. There is no overtime.
I love that from race control. I love that from race control. Question comes in from Lithium Fox. Is there any way that we can add some time on at the end? The response that comes in, we're just 2 British guys who don't really understand how ovals work.
All right, well, obviously we're not going green this time, so next time by, we get the restart. It will be 5 laps to go. One to green now.
So, reigning champ back in 25th position. That tells you how tough this is going to be. They know with 1 to go, B-Roy wants to set this one up. Zach Mertes is there in second. And the understanding I would be as a racing driver at this point, this is basically your induction day at school. This is your chance to say, look, I want to be top of the class. I want to be the one that everyone looks at. This is going to be one of those circuits where you turn around and say, absolutely, you're going to get that into position. The unsafety car is going to pull to the back of this pack now at this stage as it works on through. And now on the back stretch, they're getting ready and they want this launch, and they want this launch proper because they know it's a Showtime 5 as they set themselves up here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
B-Roy, Zach Mertes on the front row. 27 cars still on the racetrack and still legitimately with a shot to win it. B-Roy, Zach Mertes, Auburn Kyle, Lithium Fox, MGAX Racing, your top 5. Sear Racing, Grand Poubert, Josh's Corner, Ryan L83 and Solstice, your top 10. Back to green. 5 laps to go at Charlotte. A wonky restart. They're already 3 wide. Just shy of start finish. Here comes Poubert to the outside. They're almost 4 wide into turn number 1. And now they're going to spin. Poubert gets turned. Hard into the outside wall goes Ryan. They will wad him up in the middle of turns 1 and 2. The 171 of Yellow Vision will sneak by. We are committed to the end. We're still green.
Yeah, and that's going to really hurt because that's just when ego starts taking over and that field just didn't know where to go. Now here comes MGAX Racing here looking for 4th. Big block down low by Zach Mertes, trying to hold himself steady. 4 now here at the stripes they work. B-Roy's got himself a car length and a half. Now 2, working through 1 and 2, but MGAX is going to be the worry, and so too, Sear Race is now starting to make progress.
Zach Mertes in second. He made the grid by about 5 seconds when this race started nearly 2 hours ago. B-Roy out in front. Does Mertes have anything for him? He's a little bit slower. You've got Auburn Kyle trying to reel in as well with 3 laps to go at the start-finish line.
High line starting to be run here, so they're seeing there the line is, or the groove is just migrating a little bit. And do you have enough? Those heat cycles would have made all the difference out there, and you're trying to get everything you can to go and work. But I think B-Roy's got this one on rails off of this restart. He's going to look happy with a couple popsicle sticks.
2 laps to go. This time by Mertes continuing to lose about 1/10 a lap. They're crashing big off of corner number 4. Again, hard hits on the front straightaway. We stay green. It's well outside the top 15. The battle for second. Mertes and Auburn Kyle almost side by side down the backstretch on board with P3.
So, Auburn Kyle, if you want to go and make this one work here on lap 132, you're going to need to be a little bit braver than that. It was Hula and Punju who were caught up in that issue. White flag is going to be out as way by Barney, and now Auburn Kyle has it all to do, but here comes MGAX Racing looking to find a way to the top 3 on the top side.
The battle is for second as B-Roy well out in front. Oh, they crash! They crash! Gags and Auburn Kyle get together. That will allow Sear Races to take third. It's a third-place disaster class down the back straightaway. But B-Roy started out back. He'll end it in victory lane. He will win the Fizzy Pop 200 here from Charlotte. Zach Mertens second. Sear Races comes home in third.
Well, I think it's all down to timing. Keep yourself in the hunt, find a way to get yourself up there, and that's what B-Roy's done. He had that air of confidence about him. He wanted it to be strong out there. Look, the shade to come off, and look at what it means. That's a big come on, yes, there from B-Roy, and he knows Florida Man is out there in front.
He looks worn out after 133 laps. Here from Charlotte. We'll get to burn down the house here on the front straightaway. He will start out season 4 atop the point standings. Zach Mertens coming home in second, who again started dead last, missed the grid, got into the sessions with about 5 seconds to spare, and now looks like everybody's going to do a burnout here on the front straightaway to celebrate race 1 in the books.
Big come on. Look at what it means, right? And you think that creators out there, right? You think that creators out there are just here for the fun. They don't mind what happens. That just shows you this is round 1 of a championship, and that's what it means at round 1. I'd look around the other drivers here, the other creators, by the time we get round 4, round 5, round 6, ask them what it means them as well, because if it means that much at round 1, what's it going to mean by the time we get further along the season here, Jacob?
We'll park the 54 in victory lane for the first time on the season. Do a victory lap to celebrate as well around the 1.5 mile racetrack here from Charlotte. Get a chance to talk with him and the rest of our top 3 here in just a little bit. B-Roy, your winner. Zach Mertens coming home in second. As I mentioned, no practice time. Just barely made the race to begin with, and he comes home in P2. Sear Races P3, Lithium Fox 4th. Gags comes home in 5th after the contact between himself and Auburn Kyle on the final lap. Goen comes home in 6th, then Josh's Corner, Yellow Vision 8th. And Cephalosis, after an up-and-down night, comes home 9th, and Steel Horse Live comes home 10th.
B-Roy's never won a Creator Series race before, and he has really taken it hard upon himself, so that's why it means so much for him to go and get the result here today. 11th will belong to Storm Molina, as it would be Justin BO20 who would be able to get up to 12th on the final run. It's then with D. Gooden and Reska Kyoso 13th and 14th, with Funky T-Bone and Solstice then up for the top 16. Adam Nunez will then see Els Indriani behind as the motorsports enthusiast would see Grand Pooh Bear, who was turned on the final run.
21st, Punju. Auburn Kyle, after that crash, comes home 22nd, 1 lap down. Then it's Hula. Ryan L83 crashed in that last restart. Multi-grid mashup. Ukando, NASCAR Nolan, Reed Me, and Itzdez TV parked it 30 laps shy of the finish, and then you have the safety cars in there as well. We'll get a chance to talk with our top 3 here from Charlotte. B-Roy, Zach Mertens, and Sear Races in just a moment. And B-Roy has joined the party once again, and we talked to you before the race and felt pretty confident. I could tell you're worn out, pretty emotional after this win. What's it mean to win race 1 of the Creator Series?
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I've done Creator Series for almost 3 years now, just going from game to game, and there's some lost confidence there. I didn't feel like I had a shot to win a lot of these years. And when we figured out that we were doing Oval this year, I was like, all right, this is where we lock in and get to it. And yeah, we had a little unfortunate beginning, getting spun while we were 3 wide, but honestly, I just kind of trusted my gut and trusted that we could get through it. And honestly, if I didn't miss the pit road at the end of that race, I don't think I'd be sitting here talking to you. I didn't think we had the best tires, but unfortunately for Yellow Vision and Gary, shout out to those guys. They ran a hell of a race. They just sometimes you just make calls that you have to live with, and unfortunately for those guys, they got to live with those. And I'm glad my happy accident ended up with me finally in victory lane. I wanted this one for so long. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
That fortune's favor there for you, I think, is going to be something that we remember here in Creator Series for a very, very long time. Just talk us through that final run, what it meant for you when you saw that gap starting to pull away and you realizing that it's going to be in the bag for you so long as you keep it together, and understanding that you are, for the first time ever in Creator Series, B-Roy, championship leader.
Oh, I didn't even think about the championship lead part. I'm gonna be honest with you there. But no, going through that restart, I was just I was having chat try and hype me up. My chat. Shout out to the paddock, by the way. My paddock fellas. They got me through this when I wasn't believing in me. But you know, just going through that, just going through when the unsafety car was going in, I was just like, all right, I just need to lock in. I need to take a breath. There's a lot of times that I've choked this before. And I gotta take my headphones off. I'm sorry. Oh man. There's a lot of times where I either put a shift wrong or I put a oh god, I'm sorry. I've got bit and everything notifications blasting in my ear. I just trusted my gut and just told myself that we got this. And we almost got a little screwed up with the safety car. We almost got a little screwed up because they said boogity 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 and everybody started pushing me. I was like, oh wait, I'm supposed to be the control car, guys. But it worked out in the end. Once I made it through the first lap and realized that we had that gap, I realized that as long as I keep my cool, we could do this, and we did it. So I'm very happy. I have no more words to say. I'm speechless. Oh,
B-Roy, go celebrate. Congratulations. We'll see you next week from Nashville.
Thank you all. Thank you, everybody.
P1 tonight. To B-Roy, second place, coming home. Zach Mertez, and you were just happy that you made the show tonight. Coming in right at the buzzer. No practice, no nothing. You're able to come home P2. What a wild ride, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Excuse the mess, by the way. My room has been a little bit of a pigsty because, you know, even with rolling into this race, I am in the process of prepping to race this track in real life at Cookout Summer Shootout in a U.S. Legend car. So I'm all over the place. Sorry, Dad, I know you're watching. I sped home from work. I was pulling 70 in a 35. And I 6 o'clock traffic. What are you going to do? But ended up getting home with 4 seconds to spare in the session timer, made quick adjustments on the race car. Shout out to Jordan White. He's one of the guys that I'm mentoring with Murdoch Esports, and put him in last second, joined the grid, able to keep myself on the lead lap. I saw I was on par with the leaders as I was rolling through, and it ended up working out in my favor. The strategy played in my favor. I timed the last stop so I'd make it on gas. We were planning for a top 5, so P2 is just way out of what I expected. To be running for the win at the end is just amazing.
And in terms of how you set your expectations now, because obviously that's what happens when you're on a big panic to try and get in and race and in what are very unideal conditions for you. Do you feel that, let's say, if you get things more ideal for you over in Nashville in terms of getting yourself set up time, do you think that it's going to make your life that much easier knowing that you've already got a P2 in the back pocket from what was a very, very difficult personal scenario to get ready for today?
Well, in personal opinion, I'm a reserve driver. Technically, I was given permission to run this race. So if I'm even allowed to run Nashville, that would be amazing. If I can go in and start competing for points, that would be absolutely awesome because I am technically not competing for points. If I end up running Nashville, it may be, again, a last-second crunch time, but it's just a matter of putting yourself in the headspace, being able to focus, and have the ability to just go out there and perform. I have to do it all the time in a real race car. It's no different than getting on the iRacing.com setting.
All right, Zach, well, congratulations on the P2. Hopefully, we'll get to see you back here soon, whether it's next week or a little later on down the line, and see you moving ahead.
Absolutely. I thank you guys for letting me hop on here. And if I could send a quick shout out to a few of my friends and sponsors. I know my dad and my family are watching, so thank you for tuning in. Shout out to Andrew Cardinale for last second paint scheme. It probably didn't load right, but I appreciate him nonetheless. Pit Stop TV, Butler Built Seats, Ideal Pest, all the sponsors that help make this happen on the iRacing.com sim and in the real life car. 2 more weeks we're going racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. Thank you for the broadcast. Absolutely amazing time here in the Creator Series. Hope to be back.
Zach Mertez, P2 tonight in the Fizzy Pop 200. SEER Races came home in 3rd place tonight. 3rd place kind of fell in your lap there in those final couple of laps with contact ahead of you. What happened there on that final restart in those final 5 laps?
I'll say it again. Sorry.
What happened there in those last final 5 laps?
Oh my God, it was so much fun. Honestly, I enjoyed this so much. It was literally so great. I literally like there was 2 people. I was in last, I think I was in 6th, and then 2 people got into each other, and I literally saw 3rd, and I was like, yes! I literally went on my gas so quick. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get a podium.
That's awesome. And as far as it goes, you spent a lot of the day just being quiet, out of the way, unassuming, and then when the time came late on in the race to jump up, get position, work on through, that's when it strikes. So as far as that sets up for you, a lovely start for the way this season goes. How do you feel about Nashville coming up?
I'm excited. I'm not the best at Nashville, but I'm going to practice a lot. I honestly, like, coming into, I'm usually do the, like, Charlotte with the trucks. So coming in and seeing it with the next gen, I've like had to like retrain my brain for like the breaking points and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on for Nashville, and, you know, obviously having fun, because this was awesome. I loved hanging out with all of the creators, and I'm just so excited to be in the podium and have a good start to the season, because I'm looking forward to it.
That's the key, having fun. SEER Races is having a lot of it. P3 tonight from Charlotte. Best of luck next week.
Thank you.
That is it for our interviews. And boy, there was a point where we thought that race was going to be over in 20 minutes. And then 40 minutes later, the race finally ended. Carnage early, carnage in the end, fuel strategy in the middle. Just about everything you could ask for here tonight from Charlotte.
Well, I would call that a very nice fuel run sandwich on wreck bread, I guess is the best way to understand it. That was a tough race for a number of reasons. They were struggling to establish a rhythm, got the chance to establish it, then the rhythm got broke late on, and they had to try and find a way to make it work. Ultimately, races don't get much tougher than that. I think the only way it would be tougher is if it's just wrecks all the way through, but they will know they've got a super speedway to go and shackle in Nashville in 7 days' time, and that is going to play very different to what we've seen here at Charlotte. And so with that in mind, I think we're going to see different drivers come up to the top based on what the different weeks are going to get. And that is the ultimate joy of getting running here in the Creator Series. You never know who's going to quite be on top week to week to week.
It will be a lot of fun next week for the Crack in the Barrel 150 at Nashville Super Speedway. Yes, it's called a Super Speedway. It's no Daytona and Talladega. It's a little less than a mile and a half. It's a slower racetrack than what you have here at Charlotte. It will be a completely different show when we take the next-gen cars out to Nashville Super Speedway next week. That will do it for us here on this Wednesday night. I want to thank all of you for tuning in so much on the Creator Series and iRacing platforms. For Gareth Allen, our producer, Jake Sperry alongside me, I'm Jacob Hitz. Thank you so much for watching. It is B-Roy, your winner at Charlotte. We'll see you next week.